Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the student representative on the university's Board of Trustees, Mr. Theodore Wilhite.
Greetings, distinguished guests. Mayor Muriel Bowser, Council Chair Phil Mendelson, students, faculty, staff, and members of this inextinguishable University of the District of Columbia community. I am Theodore Wilhite, a graduating senior studying architecture and community planning in the College of Arts and Sciences and Urban Sustainability. I am truly honored to stand before you serving as your current 2015-2016 student representative to the Board of Trustees. During my term, I've witnessed some of the most unprecedented changes the university has experienced, probably since its inception. I've watched an attentive and vision-driven president assume office, and not just move swiftly, but thoughtfully on critical front-burner issues. Also, I've seen the Student Center finally become a reality, all of which are major milestones that didn't come without a fight. You see, I serve as a member of a body of impressive individuals whom represent seasoned higher education administrators, whom have moved through the ranks all the way up to positions like Major General in the military, DCMR 8 fluent attorneys, and senior policy and government personnel and officials. Individuals who take the time out of their personal and professional schedules to volunteer their expertise and knowledge to ensure that this institution is moving forward. Now, on the heels of a national holiday, we just recently celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and I'm reminded of his words. There comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must take it because conscience tells him it's right. In keeping with Dr. King's words, in the oath I swore to uphold the office with the interests of the students in mind, I would be remiss to allow this platform to pass without addressing some issues that are near and dear to our hearts. You see, due to aging facilities, many of whom have not been touched in decades, students are sometimes subjected to unbearable conditions. With classrooms that peak temperatures in the 80s and 90s on a warm winter day, we have elevators that are as predictable as the red line on the metro. Yet we, the students, are expected to perform well and graduate on time. This past fall, we were forced to make an unpopular and tough decision to end the already overgrown housing program due to the above market rates we were forced to pay to private real estate brokers. As a student representative of the Board of Trustees, I'm thankful for those parties responsible for investing in the students with this student center. However, I'm also asking your continued support to make DC's only public institution of higher learning comparable in funding to any other state institution of higher learning. I said it last February, thank you. I said it last February at our Founders Day celebration that statehood lives next door to academic-hood. You can't have one without the other. Affordable, accessible, and quality education serves as a litmus test for a vibrant state government. Show me a state who don't invest in their public university system, and I will show you a state in distress. So I pose the question, how can there be pathways to middle class when there are obstructions to pathways for persons who desire to seek higher education? Your next meal or where you will lay your head should not be a concern of our degree-seeking students. The University of the District of Columbia has been contributing to the district for almost 200 years, seeding the district public school system with teachers and public servants since our inception in 1861. Your investment in UDC is an investment into the district's future. It's a simple equation. Since so many of our graduates go on to serve, or like me, currently serve, the district in various capacities. I have an opportunity to apply my education on a daily basis. I currently support the city as a full-time employee as well, And I come to school and I try my best. My professors may say otherwise, but I try my best to make it happen. But it's a awesome situation. I have the opportunity to learn every day. So let today mark the start of a new journey with improved relationships between the district government and our institution, a journey to autonomy as an institution of higher learning under the sound direction and leadership of our esteemed President Ronald Mason and our competent and effective Board of Trustees. To be honest, I'm tired of these council hearings, students having to testify and pulled from our classrooms to tell you how great this institution is and begging for funding. Maybe the Student Center will be an incentive for you guys to come here more often and see for yourself. Now back to the celebration at hand. It's my honor and privilege to present the chair of our Board of Trustees, Dr. Elaine Kreider, a fearless and passionate leader that has brought this board together across competing agendas to tackle major challenges. She had to fill some pretty big shoes too. You see, while perusing through past UDC Board of Trustees resolutions, I came across a familiar signature and name from a former chair, the deceased and Honorable Ronald H. Brown. Former Board Chair Ron Brown stated, "The American dream rightfully belongs to every child in this nation. And I will add this nation's capital." I may be going on a limb, however, I will argue that his experience serving this institution led to his philosophy and later prepared for his work to serve the nation as the Democratic National Committee Chair and later the Secretary of the Department of Commerce. And I have to do a cheap plug here, but under my Phi Beta Sigma fraternity brother, the Honorable President William Jefferson Clinton. His spirit lives on in Dr. Kreider. If you haven't seen her and the board in action, then you ought to do yourself a favor and attend one of our meetings. Dr. Kreider, to you and all the members of the board whom you represent, thank you for believing in this institution, and your work does not go unnoticed. Without further ado, I present to you Dr. Elaine Kreider.
Good evening, and let me say I am so proud of Theo. I enjoy every day working with him, and I'm so proud to be able to serve with students that have the kind of passion and commitment as you've seen evidenced just now by Theo. I'm going to stick to my job and stay in my lane, and that lane today is to give you guys the welcome. And I certainly want to say that I welcome each and every one of you to an occasion that's been a long time coming. And those of us that have been here for a while have watched as we had fits and starts and, you know, was the thing ever gonna go up? Will it ever open? And having to endure questions from everybody else. Well, how long is it gonna take you guys to finish that building? Today, the building is finished. And it took a lot of time, effort, money, and commitment to get that done. Of course, I'm the chair of the board, but the chair of the board does not do his or her job alone. And I just want to quickly recognize the other board members who are here and who support me in everything that I do. And I'm going to ask them to stand. Trustee Jerome Shelton, Trustee Barrington Scott, Trustee Anthony Tard, Trustee Reginald Felton, and I am so happy to see one of our former trustees, Mary Thompson, who served us faithfully for 10 years. And I'm glad that Mary is out to celebrate, because during her tenure, you know, a lot of this building happened, and I'm just thrilled that she was able to make it out with us today. And the last thing I'm going to do before I take my seat, I cannot let this day go by. Well, let me back up, rewind for just a minute and see if there are any other board members that may be in the back that I can't see. If so, I'm glad you guys are here as well. Okay, where is she? Oh, okay. I thought there's Natasha Bennett, who was a former student trustee, and Dale Lyons, who was a student trustee, and Cortese Brent. Where is he? So, she, thank you. Those were former student trustees. That was impromptu. I didn't know I was going to have to do that one. So the last thing that I was going to say is that I am also highly, highly honored and pleased to see one individual here. And this individual helped to carry us through a storm. And for those of you who've ever been through a storm, you know that when that storm starts up, you never know whether you're going to make it out of that storm or not. You might get a little beaten up and tattered and torn, and you keep going and you keep going. And you look to find an anchor that holds you in place to take you through the storm. And we found an anchor that took us through the storm, and I guess I can say I'm tickled pink. I am tickled pink that he's here today. And I just want to acknowledge Dr. James Lyons for being here. He was here and served as our president. I tricked him. He tells people I tricked him for about 2.5 years, and he really served us well. And as you can imagine, you know, a lot of his time and effort went into seeing and managing what was going on with the Student Center. I lied, Jim. I'm sorry. I have prayed over and over again about that lie. So at any rate, I am so glad that you have come out to celebrate, and this is a celebration for us today, and to witness this beautiful building as you take the tour and see what we have been able to do. UDC can do some things, and this is one of the things that we have done, and we've done it right. I think that President Mason will acknowledge the staff, but to hear on behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you to the staff for the hard work that they put in. And again, welcome everyone to this historic and fabulous ribbon cutting. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium the Vice President of the Undergraduate Student Government Association, Sholofelo Motswani.
Goeienaand, Dumelang, Tobela, Sanbonani, Absheli. Those are the languages from my country. I'm originally from South Africa, from a small village called Magolokwe in the Northwest Province. As they said, my name is Sholofelo Motswani. I'm a graduating senior majoring in business management as well as management information system, a double major, and graduating this semester. It has been an honor for me to be UDC Student Ambassador since 2014. I'm also the current Vice President of the University of the District of Columbia, and a student, how can I even mess that up? Sorry about that. USGA, Undergrad Student Governing Association, thank you. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce Dr. Ronald. He has been amazing so far, and we appreciate having him, and so far we love him. All students do love him. Let me speak for myself, by the way. Let me introduce on stage Dr. Ronald Mason Jr. Thank you.
Well, so far so good. I sort of just got off the boat. I've been here 6 months. But you know, every new president after 6 months inherits and claims and owns the problems, but they also get to take credit for all the good things. And this is clearly one of the good things, this facility that you are in this evening. It is really a team effort and has been for several years. Went through several presidents, as you know. And it's been a combination of the district's money, and we have some of their representatives here, the mayor obviously, and also council person Nardo from Ward 1. but it's also been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears of the folks that work at the University of the District of Columbia. Let me mention the Chief Operating Officer, who just got here as well, but we're going to give him credit for it because he's in the seat now. That's Troy Stovall. But also, yeah, you can give him a hand. But the main guy is Eric, who you all saw in the video. I think this is Eric's adopted child, this facility, because he knows it better than anyone else. But ultimately, though, the University of the District of Columbia and the district is the people that live here, work here, pay taxes here, and that are served by the University of the District of Columbia. So in that sense, this facility is all of our effort and all of our blood, sweat, and tears. So I want to acknowledge Team UDC, and that's all of you, for the good work that's been done here today. Now, I'd like to take a presidential privilege and give the last couple of minutes of my time to Dr. James Lyons, because he really was the person that put this back on track, the process of bringing this building to life. So I'm going to ask him to come up, if he doesn't mind, and just say a couple of words, Jim.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mayor Bowser, Chair Kreider, other distinguished guests here today, trustees. If you wonder why I would leave Atlanta, Georgia, and fly here into an anticipated blizzard, what could be so important about this event that I had to change the meeting I had scheduled with Dr. Shetty tomorrow, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get out of here. I would say to you that this event is that important, primarily because one of the most painful things that was said to me while I was president, and Dr. Kreider, there are few painful things that were said, but perhaps the most painful thing that was said to me when I was here was that your students don't deserve such a facility. They can get out of class and go home because you are a commuter institution. That was painful, and it hurt, and it revealed some things. So there is no way, short of being tied down in Georgia, that I would have missed this glorious occasion. I want to thank everybody, those seated here and others who labored in the vineyard to make this happen. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UDC alumna Lara Odat.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lana Odat. I'm from Syria and graduated from the Department of Urban Architecture and Community Planning at the University of the District of Columbia. In addition to my studies, I was the captain of the UDC women's lacrosse team. And through these 2.5 years at UDC, I really enjoyed my time as a student athlete. And I feel that UDC prepared me for success on and off the field. After a successful internship, I am now working full-time as a product designer for Marshall Moya Design. I look forward to gaining valuable experience, even attending graduate school and becoming a licensed architect. My goals include focusing on commercial projects, learning from my colleagues and clients, and using experiences gained from international travel to influence my designs. I am very pleased today to introduce to you the design team of the UDC Student Center. My boss, Michael Marshall, and Ronald Lemke my boss, Michael Marshall from Marshall Moya Design, and Ronald Lemke of Canon Design.
So again, I'm Roland Lemke from Canon Design. I'm the office practice leader for the office located here in Washington, D.C. We're a national, international architecture and engineering firm located here in the district. I'm going to talk a little bit about the privilege that we had and the selection process, how we came to be a part of this terrific project, and introduce the rest of the design team, some of those who are here. For those of you who don't know, we were shortlisted down to a team of 3 firms. This was from about 40 firms that submitted to design this project. And we actually was a design competition where we were given 3 different sites on the campus. The site that you're sitting in now, a site up next to the existing library, and a site over by the athletics facility. And we produced designs for all 3 of those sites. And we competed against 2 other firms. Needless to say, we were excited when we learned, we got a phone call, I think it was literally at 10 o'clock at night after a few months, from Eric and the former procurement officer saying that we had won the project, and I think we were ecstatic and called Michael and the rest of the team. From day one, it was a strong collaboration. We reached out to Michael. We decided to create a team of our 2 firms because of his tie to the university, our ties to designing higher education student unions. We reached across the city. Sitting here is Jeff Lee from Lee & Associates, who's a landscape architect. You'll get to see his beautiful plaza and the rain garden out behind me to the left. We had Reese Steele, a local structural engineer, DeLon and Hampton, the civil engineer, Seti and Associates, I don't know if Raj or any of those guys are here today, were the mechanical, electrical, plumbing engineers on the project. I was briefly in the video. I always hate to see myself and stuff like that. So the building is going to hopefully achieve LEED Platinum status. It will be one of only, currently there's one other in the country. Hopefully if we achieve our status, we'll be the second. And what that means is the building is highly sustainable. From the way the building processes the rainwater, as was mentioned in the video, from the roof and from the rain gardens, the mechanical system, which is highly efficient, the way it's delivered, the tower, the atrium actually has a reason for being there, not just because it creates a great student collaboration space. It's also the building wraps around the atrium so that we can get natural light into all of the offices and spaces from all sides, actually achieving light to all those who work in the building, whether it's borrowed light or natural light. So we are very proud of developing that design, integrating it here into the city, and working on that. And then lastly, I can't be, without saying again, a big thank you to the contractor, the Parkinson Forster team. Hopefully some of those guys are here as well. I mean, it was mentioned about blood, sweat, and tears. Those guys were in the trenches. We were working hand in hand with them to get this great project, built. And as you said, Eric was there the whole way as well. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for, letting us be a part of this terrific project. And we look forward to, coming back in a few months and just seeing how the school has moved in and it's really transformed. Thanks.
Thank you. My name is Michael Marshall, and again, our firm is Marshall Moya Design. And this project is very important to me both professionally and personally. 40 years ago, September, I first put my footsteps on this campus. At that time, there were only three buildings actually open. All the other buildings were under construction. There was no metro here. It was under construction. We got to the campus by metro bus along Connecticut Avenue, Porter Street, with classmates from all over the city and also internationally. So I've had a lot of experience and understanding the evolution of this campus. I am a product of this school. I know some of the perhaps naysayers that were mentioned about this university, but I think I like to say that I'm a point of reference. At the time when I came here, it was still the Washington Technical Institute. There were still buildings here from the Bureau of Standards, so this was federal property at that time. And by the time I left this campus, it was a 2-year program for me, it became the University of the District of Columbia. And it was a combination of the Washington Technical Institute, a combination of DC teachers, and Federal City College. So all of that came together to make this very unique place. For me, it was very special because I'm the first person to go to college in my family, so everything about this was a new experience. It was the first time I met professional people of color. And they took us in. I don't know if Clarence Pearson is here, but he was one of our professors at that time. If he is here, and I see him now, he can't hide, stand up. little choked up by this. This is sort of rare. But at any rate, Clarence was one of the first people I also worked for. Clarence was one of the first people to take me to buy a suit. I don't know if he remembers that or not, but that was really good. So at any rate, I've seen the evolution of this campus. I've seen what it was like in the 20th century. Now we're heading to the 21st century. We have a great opportunity to move forward now. This building that we've designed is for the students, but it's also for the District of Columbia. It is a mediator between the town and gown. Usually, student centers are placed at the center of campus, but this was a great opportunity, as Roland said, to put this building where it can brand this university, where it can become a new face, and to be part of our community. So it's quite a pleasure to have been part of this project. I like to challenge the students that are here now, that you now have a place that we didn't have, but a place for camaraderie, a place to meet your partners for ventures you might have in life. It opened the doors for me. From here, after the 2-year program, I went to Catholic University and finished my bachelor's degree in architecture there. And from there, I went on to Yale University for a master's degree, and I moved back to DC. Actually, some of my friends are here from Yale. Here, Erica Ling, I saw her come in. She's waving back there. And right now, I like to break a little protocol, John, if that's all right, and bring up my partner on my excellent adventure for Marshall Moya Design. This was great working with Canon Design. This is my partner. Probably wouldn't be here right now because I had some other directions that I was heading in. But she said, look, we can do this. And then Canon came knocking on our door and brought us to this project. And it's very exciting. And again, for the students that are going to continue on from here, I want you to come back and support the university. It's not just a matter of coming through and taking off. But this has been great to have this opportunity to give back to the university. They gave to me. Thank you very much.
History
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of the Student Bar Association at the University of the District of Columbia's David A. Clark School of Law, Brandon Wallace.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here. My job initially was to introduce our great chairperson, Mr. Phil Mendelson, but unfortunately he's unable to join us. So I'll just simply say that he is a zealous advocate for our university, and we're so grateful for his continued support. Madam Mayor, thank you for being here, Mr. President, Madam Chairperson, Dr. Lyons. I also see my wonderful dean out in the audience, Dean Shelley Broderick. Good to see you. Any other law students here? I want to quickly acknowledge you as well. Ms. Bennett, good to see you. I'm so pleased that we are here to open this wonderful building. And I just want to just acknowledge all the people who have worked so hard to do this. This is no easy task. And so to those who have worked so hard, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we're looking forward to enjoying all the wonderful amenities this building has to offer. This is such an exciting time in the District of Columbia. And UDC represents all that is great about our wonderfully diverse city and our nation. UDC is an acknowledgement that to whom much is given, much is required. And while we celebrate this auspicious occasion and we appreciate this marvelous milestone, make no mistake that there is much work left to be done, both for our student body and for the people of the District of Columbia. As we continue our great work of educating the future leaders of America and building a road to the middle class, Madam Mayor, that was for you. Let us never forget those who have come before us, and more importantly, let us never forget those who will come behind us. That is why we do what we do. Thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the president of the Undergraduate Student Government Association, Ms. Jonice Barnes.
Good evening, President Mason, Mayor Mario Bowser, to my Firebird family and distinguished guests. I'm Jonice Barnes, President of the Undergraduate Student Government Association. Graduating May 2016, thank you, with a degree in health education, I plan to become a leading public health analyst. Although I am a native Washingtonian from Deanwood, Northeast, thank you, UDC is not my first university. I initially arrived to the university in the fall of 2013 as a transfer student, then feeling discouraged and sometimes hopeless. As we are here in our new student center, it reminds me of the rebuilding I once had to endure. Through this journey, I have been cultivated into a better student, leader, and professional. I am very grateful for this opportunity to be before you at this monumental moment. I would like to present my fellow Firebird, who has also been working tirelessly since stepping foot on this campus, my friend, Lisa Poynter.
Hello, friends. How are you all today? We're here. Yay! So, go ahead and take it. I don't even need it right now, actually. He's the real MVP. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Poynter. I'm a relatively new student here. I am from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm a Midwest girl. I like loaded potatoes and long walks on the beach. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here today to talk about this great building, these guys, right? Come on. They put this together, and there were so many people that fought for this to happen. You don't have to be here forever to know that there was a fight, but we won. And that's worth being celebrated. So when I was asked to speak, I was told to think of, aspire, accomplish, and taking on the world. But what I thought and what I felt was thrive. And what we really need in this community, this UDC community and the greater Washington community, is we need to thrive. So I need everyone that's here, say it with me, thrive. Thrive. Now I want you to do like your teacher said, use your outdoor voices. Come on, boys and girls. Let's say it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Thrive. Because if we thrive, and if we dare each other to thrive, then we can really go somewhere. Because when we understand what thriving is, it's not about us, and it's bigger than us. As this student center, after I graduate and leave, it's bigger than me. So what does it mean to thrive? To prosper, to flourish? An example, education groups, they thrive on organization. And we know here at the University of the District of Columbia, great organization, great leadership will help us thrive. So we know what we need to do, and the president has laid out his vision for 2020, we have to believe in it. So I'm challenging you today, if you don't believe that you can thrive here at UDC, and you don't believe in the vision that's here for you, then I ask you to think otherwise about coming here. There are night audit jobs, there's cemeteries that need help, but if you don't like students and people, then I'm gonna ask you to leave. Because there are some people here who believe that students have a right and that they're hungry to thrive. There is a community here that deserves to thrive. There is people that are marginalized in this community that come to UDC because it's affordable. They come here because they're going to get a world-class education at a fraction of the cost, and that's worth being celebrated. So I need you to remember why you're here, and if you're not a part of the solution, remember my words. So, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, the University of the District of Columbia, my alma mater, my safe space, is an institution that's like no other. My UDC is a place where students commit to excellence and are championed to thrive every day. UDC, the nation's only public land grant, is a place where students, faculty, and staff are able to do just that. What we have to do going forward is work towards propelling each other forward. We have to see the vision and make it plain, but I'm not going to take you to church right now. We have to create policies and benchmarks to judge people and judge our success. And it's okay to hold people accountable because we're not charity cases. We're students who are academically engaged. We have to look at the talent that is here. The talent that is Monica Green, who actually, so I was looking for pictures for today, trying to learn more about the history, because again, I'm from Cleveland. I've only been in the district 2.5 years. And I came across pictures of her, Makai, Rhea. I came across pictures of them as they were engaged. And you have to look at what it means to thrive. See, someone thought it was good to invest in them. Someone thought that it made sense to invest in the students, and they're thriving. Makai is now president of the Alumni Association. And his entire executive board, they are working hard to make sure that the alumni know that they matter and that our education matter, that this is worth it, and it's worth it, I tell you today. It was these people who, when I first came to UDC, through the award-winning Workforce Development Program, okay? I came and Monica was my professor, and she told me what it meant to have great customer service, and she made me believe in the dream of UDC. and then I transitioned to the community college, and now I'm here at the flagship. There are pathways for success. There are ways to the middle class. I would not have got my job at the Smithsonian, the Air and Space Museum, if it wasn't for the certification that I got through UDC's Workforce Development Program. And I'm not the only one. There are many success stories. So, and not to mention, Monica, your daughter is in our graduate program. Is that correct? Homeland Security? Again, when you invest and you encourage and you dare someone to thrive, these are the results. These are real, tangible results that are going to go back into the community. And we have to look at that going forward. So we have to be willing and able to help those who need it most. UDC is the tree that has suffered much, but still it stands. Because like any tree, many focus on its outward branches, and we know that the leaves do fall. However, UDC has rich roots, and when you look back at the roots, which is our legacy, we must continue to operate knowing that our roots are rich and extend deeply in the community. Let's continue to water our tree, pull each other up, and propel each other forward. Who is near you that needs to thrive? Faculty, which new professor, which adjunct could use your advice? Staff, which new person could understand the policy better? Maybe you can write the policy. We know that some things don't work. What are you doing to fix it? How can you be a part of the solution? We're tired of talking about what doesn't work. And if you're not talking about what works and champion others to get there, then we ask of you to cállate la boca. Gracias. So, let's continue to water our tree, pull each other forward, and remember, together we can thrive. Together we can do this. Our time is now. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite theologians. We must set ourselves on fire so that others can burn. Think about it. We must set ourselves on fire so that someone else can burn. And we shall burn very brightly because we're firebirds. We have no choice. So burn, fan the flame, and continue to be all that you can. This is UDC. Thank you.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UDC alumnus Joshua Lopez.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Dr. Mason, Dr. Kreider, Board of Trustees, Mayor Bowser, former council member Charlene Drew Jarvis. I know Brianna Doe from Ward 1 was just here, and all of you for coming out tonight. I have to echo your statements, Mr. President, when you talk about blood, sweat, and tears. Exactly almost 8 years ago on this site right here where all of us are sitting, and I see some of my peers here, how are you? We led a student protest. We camped out literally right here. We put tents up for about 2 weeks, and we were protesting what we viewed were the unfair policies of the president of that time. But it was in that spirit of the fight for justice, the fight for the preservation of an affordable and excellent education that we stood out there in the cold for 2 weeks. And it's with that spirit that 8 years later, we have a beautiful student center, not only for the students and the faculty, but for the community at large. So congratulations to you, Mr. President, and to the university. So my name is Joshua Lopez. I'm a native Washingtonian and a proud graduate of the University of the District of Columbia. I graduated here in 2009 and majored in history, and I am currently working towards my master's in Homeland Security here as well. UDC has a special place in my heart, and I often credit this institution for giving me the necessary skill sets to propel me to the middle class. I stand in front of you as a proud home and business owner here in Washington, D.C. The knowledge, thank you, yeah. Homes aren't too easy to come by these days. The knowledge and skills that I obtained here made all of these things possible. There's never been a more exciting time to live, work, and study here in the nation's capital. Not only does the university have a new president, we have an excellent board of trustees led by Dr. Kreider, and we also have a beautiful new student center. This is only the beginning. I know there's tons of other things in the pipeline. Our next speaker understands this all too well. In her first State of the District speech, I quote, she stated, "We believe that the government has a duty to ensure a fair and equal pathway to the middle class." I am proud to introduce our leader, our friend, our advocate, Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Well, hello, Firebirds. I am very happy to be here. Thank you very much. Thank you. President Mason, Dr. Kreider, and the entire board, student leaders, congratulations on your beautiful new student center. I was happy to hear the students reference what we talk about each and every day down at City Hall, and that is how our government can invest in our city, invest in our continued prosperity, but make sure more Washingtons participate in it. And I'm always happy to talk about my personal connection to UDC and what it meant for my family to get on the pathway to the middle class. There was a woman who came here some years ago. She had a husband, 5 kids, and a full-time job, and a low-paying job as a licensed practical nurse. It was because she could come to UDC that she could change her life for herself and her family and her daughter, who would become mayor of her hometown. My mother was a graduate of UDC, very proudly. She started out here as an LPN. She became a nurse, and she retired as a nurse manager, the chief nurse at St. Elizabeth's Hospital. She tells the story all the time of not only what the value of education was in her family, she passed those values down to us. The expectation that no matter how hard it was, you had the obligation to use your God-given talents, explore them, make the best of them, and do what was right for yourself and your community. And that's what UDC is for our community. We have been on a very robust path to transforming public education in the District of Columbia. The focus, K through 12, first phase. Then we made sure we were taking care of before you got to K, starting at 3 years old. I was with President Mason and I said, we're going to make sure we expand that K to 12 to K through 16. And then Dean Broderick reminded me, what about up to 19? Yes. And so this is not a path for the faint of heart, is it? Because one thing that we know in school reform is that it takes big, consistent investments in people staying the course to see real change. Some people expect that it's change overnight, but we know that it's incremental change in many cases. I am sorry Phil couldn't be here because I know he would like to share with you the partnership that the entire government has to make sure we're focused on transforming our public education system. And UDC is a critical part of that discussion. When I talk about putting Washingtonians on the pathway to the middle class, it is not a joke to me. It is very serious. We are at a critical time in our city's history that government has to do everything that it can do to stand in the breach and make sure that people who are willing to work hard have an opportunity to have a great life here in our city. I talk about, you can clap, Judith, I like that. That's important. So part of that equation is making sure we're creating more opportunity and making sure all of our residents are prepared for that opportunity. And that's why we will be heavily invested in schools. It's also making sure that in a city that attracts 1,000 people each and every month and pushes the prices of everything up, including housing, that we stay heavily invested in making sure that housing is affordable. It also means that we're going to feed the economic engine that allows us to make those investments and have a vibrant and growing economy right here in Washington, D.C. But none of that is possible without a commitment to quality education. That's where it starts, that's where it ends. And I tell everybody the reason that we have been able to achieve the renaissance in Washington that we have is because anywhere you go in this nation, people know that we are committed to public education. So UDC, we have great opportunities here. Your president has laid out a tremendous and practical and feasible and a vision that, as the young lady said, that everybody can be accountable for and to. We all have bosses out there. Mine are the 670,000 people of the District of Columbia, and they expect me to lay out a vision, invest in that vision, and hold everybody accountable for delivering on that vision. And my commitment to you this day is that we will work together on the vision that your board and your president have laid out. We will be accountable for delivering on those results. And we, all of us, have a responsibility. Here I am, I'm Muriel Bowser, I'm one person. I lead a big government. I have a big vision, a big mouth, and sometimes a big stick. But I won't walk down the pathway to the middle class alone. All of us will work together to achieve a vision, but District of Columbia that we deserve. Congratulations, UDC. The best is yet to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome UDC student athlete Rock Bozic.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name is Rock Bozic, and I'm an international student athlete from Slovenia. I'm a sophomore and currently enrolled in a health education program. I'm playing the top singles position in tennis for Firebirds in 2016. My long-term goal is to go into physical therapy. It is a great honor to be a part of this opening ceremony, and I'm proud to represent one of the 64, yes, you heard it right, 64 different nationalities here at University of District of Columbia. At this time, I would like to present Dr. Valerie Epps, Chief Student Development and Success Officer.
Thank you, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this momentous occasion, the grand opening of our LEED Platinum Certified Student Center. A special thanks to Mayor Bowser for taking the time out of her busy schedule to be with us today. It has certainly been a long time coming, but it is great to see that our students' tuition and their fees have paid off to have such a great structure newly built on this campus. And I want you to know that each and every nook and cranny of this building will be used by our students, but also available to our campus community and the greater campus community. And we hope that you will make this a district destination for many years to come. I am so proud of our students, those who stood strong through the trials and tribulations over the years of getting the center built and have long since graduated and become alumni. And for those of you who enter the halls for the first time at tomorrow's student gathering, where our students will gather to dedicate a student organization suite so that all of our student organizations will have an opportunity to be visible on campus and to advertise their activities. Of course, those of you who have joined us for this grand opening, I sincerely hope that you will continue to work with our students to continually aspire, accomplish, and be ready to take on the world. I'm honored to be a part of this work and such a passionate group of staff and students who have worked with us through the years to make this happen. There are so many people behind the scenes that have worked to bring this building to completion. And I would have to thank my friends in facilities. Eric, will you please stand? He was certainly my partner in crime. We met every Wednesday for I don't know how many weeks to say, Eric, well, Eric, how much is in your budget? Or Eric, how many chairs can you afford to buy out of your budget? And he would say, how many can you buy out of your budget? Also, my friends in procurement. Is Marianne Harris here? Okay, she's way in the back. And the many friends and colleagues who served on the Student Center Opening Committee. If any of you are here, please stand. And I know they are here. There are plenty of them here. But I think they're all working. And I would like for my director of this new Student Center, Clifton Johnson, to just raise his hand. He has ribbon in his, his hand. And the names of his staff are mentioned in the program that you will receive. They have worked long and hard, many hours, but they are new staff, and so I hope that you will join us in welcoming them to the community, as well as meeting with him if you desire to rent any space on campus. So without further ado, I would like to ask our guest speakers, and including our alumni, National Alumni Society President Makai Fox, and our student leaders, Janice Barnes and Theo Wilhite, to join me to my right so that we can officially cut the ribbon and officially open the Student Center.